Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jordan Lee Tarot. I have 3 decks for today. We have the Places Oracle, we have the Inner Child Oracle, and we have the True Heart Intuitive Tarot deck. So those are the 3 decks that we have for today. I have not showered. I have not done any of the normal morning things. And all I kept hearing was, get started before you're ready. And I have a morning routine that I do every morning. And it just felt like I was being called to do things out of order, being called to get here, get to the decks, and have a conversation. I actually had 2 friends reach out to me this morning that wanted mini readings, and I found that very unusual and happy to do it. And coming into this reading, I just feel like I'm being pulled toward the cards. So just a note about divine timing and how spirit moves you when it's time. 2 things: move when it's time, not when you feel perfectly ready. Move when it's time. And the other one is informal is good. Informal is great. And I say that because I'm not ready. I don't feel put together. I want to shower, you know. But it's something about that energy of like, oh, okay, I wasn't planning on this, but okay, let's do it this way. That's the energy that I'm getting from this reading already. So we'll see what the cards have to say. Let me tap in and just take my breath. In my yoga classes with my students, I would always joke. I like using the phrase God. I'm very comfortable with that. But if you don't like God, use source energy, use universe, whatever. But I would say God is in your nose. And so that divine act of shutting into the self and taking that deep breath, it rewires the neural pathways. It syncs everything up with that divine wisdom way faster, way quicker. And it's just a beautiful way to begin. So, source energy, God is in your nose. Just take a deep breath. All right, school, educational gateway, lessons learned. Wisdom's treasury, expansion and learning in the library. Okay, this is definitely an important reading. Higher vantage point, perspectives revealed. So some of these cards came out in a previous reading, and I have shuffled this deck numerous times in between. So I want to clarify. Let's clarify. Oh, how you look is not important. It's the message. It's the message. So again, through me not feeling quite as prepared, spirit is telling you that, there's something that you're not going to feel ready for, but that you've been studying for a long time, and you're more ready than you think. So this is one of those initial messages of, you're way more healed than you think. Okay, you have this higher vantage point. You're actually moving with source. And I found that in times of transition, where I would want it to be smooth, and you always ask spirit for ease, it might be a little bumpy, it might be a little rough, it might happen a little faster than you think, and you're like, whoa, what is all of this craziness? You're moving with source energy, so even if it looks a little weird, it's okay. And that's the message that I'm getting here. So again, spirit's always moving with the divine flow of, the expansion, the movement that could be for your divine highest good. And sometimes that happens suddenly. And us in our humanness, even though we might be ready for it, we might not feel ready the moment that it comes in. Night's Canvas, Universe Unveiled. Okay, so I think this is talking about, what we think of as random. It isn't random, but in our human experience, something coming out of left field to be like, that's going to feel random. And you're going to be like, what in the what universe? Why is this now the time that that's happening? I laugh at this because I've been in moments of transition in my life, and I plan and I try to, have all my ducks in a row. And it doesn't really seem to matter in the end, because when spirit moves, everything is just chaotic anyway. And you're like, what is happening right now? So um, I think that this is really talking about the universe using anything and everything to help you get ahead. And if you're in a moment of transition or a moment of pause, Spirit's going to use something very unusual to get to you, something very unusual to get you to move. This might be very unusual inspiration. This might be a very unusual opportunity that gets you out of the house when you really would just otherwise keep yourself kind of contained, right? This is get out of your comfort zone and into the expansion of the universe. We are going to use anything and everything to give you what you want. So buckle up, get ready. Things can happen fast. Okay? You might have to wait. You might be thrown in quickly. I think this message is definitely a message of feeling ill prepared for whatever reason. This kind of feels like you've been preparing for a vacation or a work trip where you have to leave the house and you're packed, but the moment that the call comes in, get your butt in the car and leave now, you're still disoriented because you were just ready to get in the shower. Okay, so that's the energy that I'm getting from this reading. One more here. All right, golf course, groomed landscape, quiet focus. Yeah, I think you're just like minding your business, going about your day, and then the universe is going to come in and shake things up and be like, guess what? There's all this crazy stuff that's about to happen. Are you ready? No? That's okay. We'll leave you, that kind of energy. So let me jump into the tarot here. The Places and Spaces Oracle deck is really great for giving a lot of context about situation. The Prince of Wands. So that's action. That's jumping forward, moving ahead. That could be an opportunity making its way to you. That could be you deciding to charge ahead because of some divinely inspired action that you're given when you're sitting there in your pajamas and you're like, oh, I need to go do this now. Okay. I've had some really fun exchanges with the universe in that regard as well. So the Emperor. Oh my. And the Empress. Okay. So this could be an amazing divine union that's coming together. I mean, I can't really ignore the Emperor and the Empress coming out together. That's powerful energy. But this is also, I think, again, there's so many situations and so many people. This could be two different types of energy within you coming together. This is that divine reception of being open, of being ready, of being poised. There's in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, it's one of my favorite cards. It's the Poised card. And it's like this little fairy, and she's open with her arms, and her body language is expansion and expanded. And I think that this is just a really exciting, it's a really exciting time, whatever this is. So you're receptive to what's coming towards you, or maybe this is saying the thing you're going to or towards is going to be receptive to you. But the Emperor energy is a balancing of that feminine energy. So this could be a dance within you where you're receptive to getting good news. And then with the Emperor energy, you have to bring together that structure and that stability to actually make a move like this. This could be because of the schooling card, I'm hearing something about a scholarship, right? That you get, and then you have to quickly move onto campus because there's an opportunity to get free housing or something like that that will allow you to stay longer nights and work as a teacher's assistant or something like that. That's what I'm hearing or feeling. A really great opportunity that is working its way towards you, or that you are working your way towards after being receptive and getting wind of something. Maybe it's just, I feel called to go get a sandwich, and then I go get a sandwich, and then I hear someone talking about this great opportunity for a TA to get free housing. And you're like, oh my gosh, where did you hear that? And they're like, oh yeah, it's on this flyer over here. You call the number on the flyer, and bing, bang, boom, everything aligns and you're rushing towards a new place to stay, that gives you a lot more versatility and a lot more availability to learn the lessons that you need to learn, to work either within the formal education system that you're working in, or just to continue to learn and flow with the energy of the universe. I think we get disillusioned about what the universe is, how it works, how it flows. So let's clarify the Emperor and the Empress. I want to come into that message a little bit more directly to understand. The Princess of Discs. And this card in particular, I'm going to actually read the definition for some reason. Sometimes I'm really called, sometimes I'm not. And this one just really, there's something about it. Hard work, focus, financial acumen, and practical matters. So something is going to improve on a practical level here. Relationship dynamics, it's a dependable partner with a mind for practicality and details, trust, loyalty, and commitment. And whether the heart and mind are mentally and physically engaged, they provide stability and love for a strong, peaceful union. So if this is a relationship reading, this bodes well for that. This could be something really wonderful coming in very quickly. Maybe this is a friend who's like, I've been in love with you forever. Be with me. Let's build something. And you're like, whoa, I was not expecting that, but I'm open, and let's see where this goes. Okay, in professional life, hardworking individual who will give their all, and put in long hours on the task at hand. Mentorship with a seasoned associate would be advantageous. It's time to pursue every avenue available that furthers your goals while being realistic about your finances. Okay, there's definitely something here about school, like a formal schooling situation, that I really feel like you're going to be set up to be in a situation where you can learn easier or thrive better, that you won't have to worry about your finances as much because of the practical matters being cleared up, that you can focus better on schooling. There's something there with that feels very, very powerful. So this energy it's a solid building energy with the discs that are being built up. I think this is a good opportunity, whatever this is, kind of charging its way towards you. And yeah, this is a really beautiful thing. Okay. Breathe in. Practice breath work today. Remember when I said God is in your nose? Yeah. You might need to take a deep breath because you're overwhelmed by everything that's happening very quickly. Even if it's a good thing, it's still overwhelming. Many, many years ago, when I first got married and my husband at the time and I were moving into our house, it was a lot. And I remember we bought the house and we were working on it because it was a fixer-upper, and I was in a bit of a dissociative state for about a year leading up to the wedding, and then 6 months after the wedding, because it was just so much in one time period. After I'd been kind of living a certain way and doing things a certain way for such a long time, now my life changes. Now I'm a wife, now I have a house, and we adopted a second dog. So it was a lot all at once. And this feels like you're going to need to ground through whatever this is, because a lot will happen quickly. And again, not a bad thing. It's just the universe going, hey, remember all that stuff you requested? It's here now. And you're like, oh my God. It's like you order something from Amazon. They don't deliver it when they say they're going to, right? And then 3 weeks later, everything comes at once. And you're like, what is happening? Okay. It's time to celebrate, cultivate an air of celebration today. This is good news. Something really awesome is coming in. All right, 2 more. I'm not complaining. You can do hard things. It is not as impossible as it may feel. So I think you've been on a journey of waiting for things to click into place. And it has been difficult. It has been frustrating. It has been hard. And now there is something to actually celebrate. There are times when you know something is manifesting in your life. You cannot work out the details of what that will look like. I have tried. My brain gets really goopy, and then I get frustrated because I'm like, I thought it was going to happen this way. And the universe is like, no, it's actually going to happen this way. And then you get mad, right? Like Oscar is. He's like, how dare you? Let me pull one more. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. It is okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. Yeah, because when you're trying to put yourself in a better place and you're in limbo, you're in waiting, you're in the transition period, you can maybe look a little crazy. You can maybe look like you are um, you're seeing something that hasn't fully manifested in the physical, but you can feel it and sense it energetically. So that might put you in places where you're kind of like you're on the edge, you're waiting to step forward, but there's nothing to step onto just yet. But you're there and you're ready and you're waiting and you're willing. And it can look very strange to those around you. So, yeah, you might be misunderstood by the people, even that love you the most. If you see a vision for your life that they don't see, it doesn't matter. It's not their life, it's not a bad thing. You are enough. You do not have to give more. This kind of feels like justification. You don't have to justify what you're doing to anybody. It's like those workout videos where they're like, doing some very specific training exercise at the gym. And they're like, what I'm really training for. And it's mostly like something silly to do with their dog, like pulling the covers up, when the dogs are hogging the covers. But this is that justification of you are seeing the vision for your life. No one else is seeing it. Okay. Um, I've been in this position myself many times, and I think this collective probably has too. But the stakes get a little bit higher as you go on because spirit will kind of build your tolerance for living on the edge. And it's not fun for the nervous system, but I think it's a training ground. I think that, if we're going back to this schooling card, there is a bit of training going on here. There's learning going on about how the universe actually works. And the universe really does reward those who take unlikely risks. It does. And it might not reward you the first time or the second time or the third time. Like, I'm again going to give it to you very real. I have taken risks and some have worked out great. Some have not worked out at all. Some have just sort of kind of worked out. And I'm just going to say it's a mixed bag. It's not that every time you leap, you're going to feel completely caught by the universe. Not every time. Because the longer you're on this path, the more you see the variety of what can happen. People who say things like, leap and a net will appear. Yes. But how close to the ground is that net? Okay? Understand that when you roll with spirit, it's not going to look how you think all the time. Sometimes it's going to be very comfortable. Sometimes it is not going to be very comfortable. And you're going to be like, what in the world is this? It does not feel like Source is with me on this. But they are. They are. I promise you they are. Okay, let's do one more here. I can't say you're not going to have to go through hard things, though. I can't promise that. I'd be disingenuous if I was like, this is going to go great and it's going to be easy. No. Let it come forth. Give yourself permission to feel it. So this, I think, goes back to that celebration card where it is time to celebrate. And it is okay to feel it. It is okay to rejoice in things finally working out. There is a lot of sifting and sorting. That's a term that Esther Hicks likes to use a lot. You're sifting and sorting through your experiences and you're trying to decide where you're at and what you're doing and what you like, what you don't like, what do you want more of, what do you not want more of. And every time I have this really beautiful alignment of circumstances, like a really good day where everything just clicks into place, I just kind of go, yes, more of this alignment, please. And then, the next 2 days might be a little rocky and bumpy and things don't flow at all. Don't get frustrated with that. It's just part of the process and not every day is going to be perfect. But you can really start to regulate your own system so that even when things don't go the way that you think, you can still have the best experience possible because your internal navigation is taking you to a calm place of like this too is going to work out for me. Okay, you're just in a weird spot in it. So can't stress that enough. During the big transitions, there's weird spots. There's weird spots that don't look like things are going to work, and then they do. Maybe not as fast as we hope. I don't mean to sound so ominous. I've just, I want to be honest. I don't want to puff everybody up without the realization of the way the universe really works. Sometimes it's really fast. Sometimes it's really slow. Sometimes they make you hurry up and then wait. Hurry up and then wait. Six of Wands. Okay. So ultimately, this is success. This is victory. This is you with all of your trinkets and your crazy bird eyes. I like this card. This card does not come out often in this deck. So I'm just kind of giggling at this particular card. All right. The Six of Wands card is definite victory. And again, in this deck, some of those birds, those darker birds, they kind of represent your mental doubts that are kind of swirling around. But you will be victorious in this situation because the human mind will throw up all sorts of problems or stipulations or what ifs or what abouts. And this is still you coming into a spot where you're victorious. You've managed to move through all of the human conditions that you need to move through, and you found success, which is a miracle. Okay? It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's not to be diminished in any way. I have a big sign. It's all packed up at this point, but it says expect miracles. Or I think it said there will be miracles. And I think that we think of miracles as something big when really it can be small victories as well. Yeah. So the Eight of Swords, self-doubt. This is keeping oneself trapped. And that Two of Swords, that's a decision. So this is telling me together, coming out together, that keeping yourself trapped is actually a decision that you're making. So it's up to you. Success or difficulty. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. So this is when those difficult times come up. How are you going to use that? How are you going to alchemize that? Are you going to say, source is not with me, I'm so frustrated? Or are you going to alchemize that and turn that into a lesson, because we're in Earth School right now, aren't we? We're all here in a school learning lessons, gathering up our soul's knowledge from that higher viewpoint of source energy, understanding how the universe speaks and uses everyday experiences, entire life experiences, to get to a joyful place, a peaceful place. This also reminds me of Heaven on Earth, this card. So, multi-layered meaning to this message. For those of you that have been waiting, I think there's going to be some sort of accelerated, exciting time where you're called to act, maybe before you feel ready. And for that deeper layered meaning, this is truly tapping into your awareness of that you're an alchemist. You can turn any of this shitty stuff into something beautiful and use it to springboard you to the next thing. Because again, there are so many movements of things in the universe. It's a tapestry, and yes, it makes sense. But when you'd see how many different threads there are, it would blow your mind. And it makes sense why things take some time to come together because there are a lot of threads. And I think we forget that sometimes and just expect the universe to be this like well-oiled, perfect machine. And it doesn't work like that. It is a well-oiled machine, but it's always using, the strings that are available at any given moment to start to reconfigure a new scene down below. And that takes time. So I hope this message had value for you. I am going to pull one more from the Inner Child deck just because. Find your haven. There is a place of wonder waiting just for you. This is, I think, internal. an internal place of heaven on earth within you. What is that? The kingdom of heaven is within you, I think. There's some biblical and spiritual texts that say the same uh, sort of thing here. But understanding that we are cultivating our external from our internal experiences all the time. So once you can really solidify this heaven on earth within you, it makes everything else more digestible, even when there's bumps on the external. You go, that's okay. I still have my internal heaven. But again, who doesn't want heaven on physical earth? I do. That's what I always look to. So it's both. Yes, and it's both the haven within and the haven without. Um, but patience and understanding of limitation is also necessary. So there are some limitations in the physical world because things just take time. It's not that they won't happen, it's just that they take a bit more time than we might think. So, yeah. Last but not least, again, let it come forth. Let it come forth. Let the knowledge come forth. Let the beautiful experiences come forth. And let that inner haven come forth within you. All right. Well, I hope this message had value for you. And if you are ever interested in booking a personal reading where I can go into personal details, give you a little bit more solid physical uh, storyline, that is harder in these general readings, I do offer private readings online, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and 90 minutes. The pricing should all be listed in the description. You can book on my website. You can just email me directly at hello@jordanlee.com to book your session. There's just many, many ways to get a hold of me. But I also encourage you, if you would like to, I do have an esoteric podcast called Something Worth Saying, and I have all kinds of cool and varied guests on there. I think it's going to be in 2 weeks. I will release an episode with Charlotte Rose, who is another YouTube creator who I love very, very much. I utilize her Reiki videos all the time for energetic tune up. So I will put a link to her channel in the show notes, just shouting this out. She does watch some of the videos as well. Just love to support other creators doing really beautiful things as well. So, all right, until next time, have a beautiful day.